Line.
Aha. Good evening. Yep. Good evening. We are live with Peter Francis in the studio. He's in the house, and it's still not on live, is it? Is it live?
I don't know.
We are live. Welcome. We
There you
finally
go.
got there in the end. We're learning these things as we go, but that's the consequences of not getting enough prep, right? So here we are with Peter Francis, a book about consequences. My name is Kerry Mussington, the founder and director of the MOM Project, also known as the Mind Over Matter Project, suicide prevention, covering the underlying issues of depression. Now, you might think, why have we got an author, a book author in here, also a comedian, telling us about his book, Consequences? Well, you're going to tell us about your book, Consequences, and I had a whole tough on your book, though. I had a whole tough on your book.
Yeah, no what, sorry?
About your book, and then I'll tell you what I felt about your book. So please tell me about your book and introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Peter Francis. Some of you know me, some of you might not know me. I'm a stand-up comedian, as well as now an author and a personal trainer, but do other types of things. My book is based on the life of a young man who's had a journey of, let's say, misfortunes. And he goes through life and he finds out the rights and the wrongs, and he gets mixed up in some stuff that he shouldn't get mixed up in. And along his journey, you find that he relates to a lot of what's happening in the modern day society, but it's been happening for a while. But his journey explains a lot, and it goes into a bit of depth into the background in why some teenagers behave, or so should I say, why you see teenagers behaving in the way they are. We're talking about things from knife crime to youth being angry with society itself, etc., etc. So it's a journey. It takes you a long way, and it also tells you about who it affects, why it affects them, and how it affects them.
Breaking up a little bit there. It turns a journey of why it affects them and how it affects them. That's what you said.
Yes.
Have you been on a lot of interviews about your book since it's come out?
Have I been a lot of it? I'm about to go on so many interviews. As I go on, my book is hitting the hearts of a lot of people. But that's what it was meant to do. It's based on a true story, and it's hitting the hearts of a lot of people because I've taken time to write this book. It's not just I didn't just write it willy-nilly. There's a lot of in-depth research gone behind this book for me to put it out, and yes, it's hit the hearts of a lot of people, and there's a lot of interviews being lined up. All right, so it's only a good thing. I'm going to be drinking a cup of tea whilst I'm talking to you anyway. So
and it's really, yeah, you do that. It's particularly the fact that you've come on to the MOM Project, Mental Health Awareness, Real Talk, and does that word make you shy away? Just the word mental health, does it make you want to shy away? Did you think, oh, why should I have an interview? How is that relatable? Did it make you shy away?
No, and I'll tell you reason why, because there's characters in this book who have mental health issues, and the book addresses some of that on how they've got to that state of mind or state on that condition, and the book definitely just addressed a glimpse of that. All right, so I'm by you interviewing me, thank you for that. And so people with mental health issues could have an insight, be it small, be it large, onto why teenagers feel the way they do.
Okay, let me break this down also. We're not going to take away, we've got the word mental health and we use the word mental health issues, but let me be honest and frank, unless you've gone to the doctor, you're not going to actually know. So what's going on within your book, what I realized is a whole lot of information, and I had to stop. I'll be honest, it took me back. Now, and it reached me into parts where I could see the patterns. Without going too much into the book, because we want people to go and get that book.
Yeah, go and get the book, Consequences.
To put the book, but I'm going to let the viewers know why you should get that book. This book, as you described, this book has a lot of emotional signs in there.
Okay.
There's a lot of signs. I picked up, without telling too much about the book, but I picked up certain words. Do you mind me going through what I picked up from your book?
No, by all means, do what you have to do.
Peter Francis, just repeating who he is, because I'm really privileged. Thank you very much. You know what I mean? To meet an author, shake my virtual handshake, and a
Virtual
comedian,
handshake.
and a comedian.
Yeah.
You know, and you've got a new book that must feel. You must feel. How do you feel?
The book itself, it's something that I've always wanted to do, and how the book come about is really through my kids. And you know what? Just believe it or not, COVID helped a lot, because if it weren't for COVID, I wouldn't have had time to sit down and structure the actual book. The book was always on the cards, but COVID then released me from other duties and allowed me to write the book. And I had the input of my children right there in my grasp. They can't go anywhere. And so that enabled me to write the book and get the book done and utilize their youth, if should I say that, their youthful eubonics, linguistics into the books. So it's research within my kids as well. So yeah, we wrote the book, and they inspired me to write the book and complete it.
I did see one of their one of your little previews of adverts for what your daughter's done. Couldn't really tell them they were quite similar looking, aren't they?
Well, they would look similar if they're both the same people. Yeah,
they're twins.
There you go.
There you go. So you got a father here. He's setting the standard and example for you can reach to your full potential and your dreams. Use the past to get ahead. That's what I've taken from what you're doing. And what I picked up from your book, and this is probably a replica for a lot of people, that book, and it does show a way forward, I reckon. I don't know at the end of it, because I'm wondering if you're going to do another sequel to that book. So what I picked up from your book is a lot of children that have been in a care home, for starters, and display emotional tendencies, but can't quite figure out too much of their place in this world. So your book, tell us a bit more, just a little snippet of what is the message you're trying to get to these people.
The message I'm trying to get to people in this book is be careful of the journey that you take in life, because there's consequences behind that journey. All right, that's the consequences you face, because whatever journey you take in life does not only affect you, it has a trickle-on effect to your family, your friends, your cousins, it just has a trickle-on effect to a lot of other people, not just yourself. And so be very careful of the journeys that you take in life. And I want parents to be aware of what their children are doing and what their children are up to, and just be very vigilant about your child and your children's safety.
This book, your book, right, Consequences, seriously has every factor I think you can imagine. I mean, I'm a survivor of an awful lot of trauma, and your book resembles a little bit of somewhere where I've been, somewhere I've listened to somebody else's story also. And if people want to know how mental ill health develops, to read that book should open your eyes up to what children do behind your back.
Cool.
And I've written down a whole heap, as you know.
Oh, yeah, well.
So here we go. Like, if we were going to resemble the book and based on a true story, and it's relatable for those people that perhaps have diagnoses or don't have diagnoses, or didn't manage to get to the GP for a diagnosis, not that it was necessary, it's just about figuring out how much of your life is going to be consequences. And your book details a lot. We've got a popular boy, well dressed. We've got always getting into fights. You know, that is showing, your book is showing the onset of bullying. School, throughout. That's what your book, what I recognized about your book. It's showing that, how that circle of behavior begins, the pattern of behavior.
So you're referring to an individual character within the book, yeah? Has she frozen on me, or is it just me? Yeah, I think Kerry's frozen on me. But my book, go out and buy it. It's in Amazon right now. Amazon, it's available at Amazon, and you can buy it. I think Kerry, the host, is frozen on me, and that's what you get when you don't pay your internet bills. But like I say, she was referring to just now as regards to a character and the bullying, which is what some children experience in school, and why they end up doing certain things. I think she's gone at the moment. So what we'll have to do is come back to Kerry, who's just dropped out of this thing. I'm probably live still on her Facebook, but hey, that's what it is. She is interviewing me, so I won't really give you too much away as regards to the book Consequences, because it's her interview, and I'm going to be doing other interviews with other people as regards to this book. So I want to get her question out the way rather than for me to tell you about the book, where someone else might interview me, have a different perspective on the book, and then I don't want to have to repeat myself. So what I'll do is I'll probably log off of this and get Kerry to log back on, or wait for Kerry. Either way, we'll see what happens, because she's going to record this, and it's something that you can watch afterwards anyway. All right, let's see if it's actually her own site. So can she log back into her own site? I don't know. All right, for the time being, I'll just wait for Kerry. If some people are watching this at this moment in time, it's not my Zoom meeting, it's the host, and we're just waiting for the host.
Hello?
Hi, Kerry.
These things happen, don't they? Technology during COVID.
I was just explaining to people, rather than to me to rant on about my book. I don't know if we're still live on your Facebook. I don't know.
Yes, you still are live on my Facebook.
Right, so I was explaining to them. The host has been kicked out of her own Facebook. How hilarious is that, son? That's hilarious. Anyway, but Kerry, you was talking about the bullying aspect in the book, and you was going to ask me a question, but I'll just wait for you to answer the question rather than to answer it.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can get back in. I don't understand. Just plugged in.
Are you still not in?
No, I'm on my phone now. Thank God for second technology. So,
yeah, but
let's not let that stop us, because
okay.
I did have a phone call to say that I've been kicked out, and I thought, well, you're talking away there. This is what you call structure. Well done for you, Peter.
No worries,
that's consequences of not having your Earthnet. No, it's plugged in. Well, this is reality, isn't it? So, yeah, your book, it goes on to, identify patterns and behaviors. And I was reading down the list, wasn't I? That's where I was going with it.
Yeah.
Children's homes, broken families, parental death, not being able to know who their parents were, new mum and dad every year, meeting different personalities, learning different behaviors, displaying anxiety, displays attention, explosions, it goes into even the habits of weed and drug dealing and twitches and selling drugs, growing illegal, recruiting. You see, that's the part there. The book opens my eyes up to a life pretty much once kind of lived. Might have been on the other shoe, was on the other foot, about recruiting. And so your book shows signs and displays signs for anyone that wants to understand the insight of maybe what's going on, even within their own families. Let's start with that book then, because that book has got some serious patterns of behaviour in there. And one I think should be taken very seriously, because really, if that's a film, do you think you're going to come out and do a film with that?
The idea is to make a film.
I can't be the only one with this problem today.
Are you still? You're still there. The idea is she's frozen again.
Oh, this is so unfair, isn't it?
I don't know. We can still hear you, Kerry. Well, I can still hear you. Are you still there? How interesting. Like I said, I'm going to wait for her to answer the questions. We'll answer it just in case things go wrong. See if she can log back in again somehow. In the meantime, I'll wait for her to come back, and then I'll answer the question. Maybe she should have invited other people into it. Then they could ask me questions. That would have been amazing. Next time. Oh, she's logged back off again. All right. In the meantime, I'll take a chill back screen. Yeah, I think she's coming back. Hey, are you back?
Have you been just taking it away on Facebook because I got locked out again and you've just been taking it away? I'm so glad you're still here and it's still being streamed on Facebook and I got kicked out. How does that work?
I don't know. I really don't know. So, okay.
I apologize for this, Peter.
Where was we then? Where was we?
Wow.
I really don't know. So, okay. Go on.
Where was we? Okay, so we were talking.
You asked me if the book was going to go into a film. That's what you want. Right. Listen, what I want to do, what I'm trying to do, is get the book into the right people's hands for them to view it, and then for it to get recognized, and then obviously potentially to be a film. Because you're not the first one that's asked about that question. And yes, potentially I do want it to be either a film or a drama. All right. And that's where I want it to go, because like you say, the book has got so much information in it, and it's almost like an educational
It's like a
insight.
manual. Don't get yourself into that. It's like a manual. Here is the warnings. Here is the triggers. Can you see the behavior? Can you see the relatable behavior and how these people are suffering, really? You know? And so that book is an eye-opener for people that want to learn a lesson from it and turn the other corner, because it was so I brought tears, it brought tears to my, and I'm not joking, I cried.
You're not the only one that says that. But I tell you, writing that book, it's almost like, because I've gone so spiritual now, it's almost like I've got a message from the above. People's going to think I'm stupid, but it enabled me to write this book. And there's certain chapters in that book that made me, writing the book, even me, come to tears. And so my emotions are carried out through that book, and you feel it at certain points. There's a point in that book which is really poignant, right? Where the young man who's gone is out now, and he's looking for his dad to apologize, right? But if you read the book, you'll understand why. And he has to go and find his father, and he hesitates to knock on the door. And when he does knock on the door, he's greeted by a young boy who he doesn't know at the time is his little brother, right? And his brother asks, "Who is it?" And he just says, "It's Troy." And the father comes to the door, and the father turns him away from the door. I don't know if you got that far in the book, but he turns him away from him, and he questions, and then he says to him, "Go away. You're not wanted here," etc., etc. And the young man, again in character, tries to walk away, and then the mum comes down and looks at the father, but she says, "How dare you?" But that moment when she says, "How dare you," the actual father thinks she's on his side, but she's not. She's on the guy. You see, I don't want to reveal too much, but I want that when you read that chapter of him going to meet his father, it will bring tears to your eyes. It will bring the emotions, because the whole thing is a reality. All right.
And Peter, I've got, like I said, this is really, I've got written here, no one dares speak because of the consequences, and I've written hiding domestic. Children are being born into broken relationships, young single parents, relocation because of separation, and travel long distance relationships. This is where we're getting into the parents and what I call alienation somewhere along the line, or not getting an option to see the kids. Cheating parents, half brother and sisters caught up in the crossfire. Now, a lot of us will be able to relate to those half brothers and sisters who we actually don't actually use the word half. We say sisters, but again, nobody thinks about these children when they form these relationships with other children that are from, siblings, bringing that connection in. Crying alone, keeping secrets, no more tears, acting out instead. That's what I've got written, and this is where the consequences comes into it as well, isn't it, within your book? Children feeling hopeless watching their parents in misery. And then children trying to make money to help their families by any means possible. It's quite sad, isn't it?
I know what bit you're referring to. I know what bit you're referring to in the book, where the young man is doing certain things, but he's not doing it for the benefit of the people involved. He's actually doing it for a reason, and it is to try and help out his mother.
Yeah.
Although it's a criminal activity, he's not looking at it as a criminal activity. He's looking at it as something that is going to benefit his mum through the struggles. All right. And that's his way of looking at it, but it's not the other members' way of looking at it. And so the young man is caught up between a lot of different emotions himself, and it's the consequences, isn't it, of his life. I have to keep going back to it because that's what it is. It's the consequences of his life.
If I can write down just a few snippets of telltale signs, and they can be on these pages.
Okay.
Sorry, it happens, isn't it? This is so relatable within the family homes, within the community, and I believe that reading your book, probably if somebody read your book, it could help people change and turn the corner and find a way out. The other thing is, because you mentioned that I think you should consider to put that into a movie or a film. I think it would go quite far. But the other thing is, will there be a movie? But who would play those characters? Who would you ideally get to play those characters?
Who would I get to play this character? I've never thought about that yet. I haven't thought about that. But you know what I would like? This is what I would like. Rather than to go for the well-known characters, because the book is based around teenage life, etc., etc., I would like that book, if it was to turn into a film, to give the young teenagers who are struggling in life, they've got quality, but they just haven't made that breakthrough. And if I can spot, like I had a play based on this. I had two great actors in the play, and it's people like that who I'd really want to be in the film. Unknowns, but I know obviously we're going to have some known people to make the film, top of the list. Because if I do make a film, if people know me, I don't go for cheap shit. I don't go for that's weird. I mean, I don't go for crap, or I do aim high in my standards. So I'm fully aware that I don't want to make a film and for the film just to be like, oh, it's one of those. No, I want it to be a quality film with quality production. So I'm aware that we're going to need some top actors to play in it. But if I had my way about it, I would put some actors who are up and coming actors, unknowns, to play in the film, and hopefully that they will get known through playing the part in the film Consequences. That's if I had my way, but I know that might not work. But who knows? Who knows?
Let's keep that positive thinking. Positive.
I might even play the role myself to Rockstar.
How can I play Santana?
Easy, Tiger.
Santana. She gets lost a little bit along the way.
Yeah. She's Oh, she's a kettle of fish herself. Yeah. So a lot of women might relate to her. Yeah,
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 I'm
yeah.
sure they
She's
would.
something else. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. So I just say to people, just go and read the book. Yes, there's a part two, but does the part two necessarily have to be about part one? That's for you guys to find out.
Mhm.
All right. I ain't gonna reveal anything. There is a consequences part two. Will it be called consequences part two? I don't know yet.
Let me ask you a question, because this is all very well. We put out this awareness and get your book out there and tell them where they can find it. Amazon, I got
Yeah,
mine.
yeah, yeah.
I got mine. Now, a lot of people that you may know, trying to see my wings on my t-shirt. See us? There you go. A lot of people that you may know um, around you would buy the book or wouldn't buy the book. Now, you see, I said to you when your book come out, I've bought the book. One, it wasn't about the value of money. It was the value of your work, your energy, the commitment to put in that awareness within the book,
Hmm.
and for me to learn something from it. But second of all, it's if you're surrounded by people, they should be supporting you in what you would do and what you achieve. Otherwise, that book, that was the start of people not supporting one another and recognizing what's going on around one another. So you, have your friends and family been very supportive of you in this new book?
My family have been very supportive of me of the new book, but I'm not. I've always been not. I don't beg friend. Does that make sense? I don't beg friend.
Yeah, I understand that, but
Um,
it doesn't hurt.
I do things on merit. So basically, if someone says to me they're going to support me with the book, then I just take their word as gospel. But I ain't going to say to you, "Go and buy my book, man." I was going to beat you up. No, I don't. No, I'm not. I'm not that type of person. You buy my book. You buy my book. In in general, in the urban, or should I say, black community, they would say to you, "We will support you." In reality, that might not be the case. All right, because I could tell you from now, more Caucasian people have bought my book than my own.
And
Yeah.
I will, I will echo that. It is very difficult within the cultured community. I'm going to use that word. People can identify themselves the way they want to. Okay.
Mm.
Um, I'm going to use that. It's very difficult to. It's almost like a fear factor to see someone really, really back them up in what they're doing. I don't know why people take the stance like that. I mean, I've been doing this suicide prevention. It's hard to get people to listen,
Mm.
but your book is waking it up, and I hope they will listen through your book, because your book is exactly why I started what I'm doing now. Do you know what I
Okay. Okay.
mean? To break the habit of suicide, to overcome depression. And your book, like I said, when we talk about your books, there's people here in your book that have been threatened, weapons, belittling, uh, parents belittling the guilty. There's no boundaries after school, lies,
Yeah.
excuses. There's
Yeah.
so much material in this book
Mm.
that if I didn't know any better, I'd say that was my life, apart from
Oh wow,
a
that's cool.
few
Yeah.
bits of it. Because
Yeah.
especially when you relate to like children going in care homes,
Yeah.
and then not being relatable into society and taken another way. Well, that was just it for me, wasn't it?
Mm.
Brought back some memories of what is it? Yep, they're the patterns. They are the patterns, and that's what your book. If anybody wants to, for me, for health and well-being, to stop those things from happening.
She's gone again. She's gone again. Just when she's getting to a vital point, she's gone again.
The
And
children of today may be
also,
going through as well, you know.
yeah, yeah. You
Hello?
froze for a bit, but it's fine.
Is it
You froze for a bit
Hello?
on a crucial point you was making,
Hello?
but you're back. You're back. Are you back? I don't know. But you're back. It looks like you're back, but she's gone again. But she's
Hello?
making. Go
I'm
on.
here.
Okay, good.
I'm here. What was you saying?
No, no. I was just echoing the point that you just made as regards to the
Right.
in-depth reality of, or should I say, the truth of what's happening out there with the youngsters.
Yeah.
Um, But
This is not a very stable line, and this is
at the
not my
same,
fault. I
yeah,
apologise.
yeah,
I've done everything I can do to keep a connection.
no worries, bro.
So, and listen, if I'm still here and Peter's not, and you can still hear me, get his book. It's $7.99 on Amazon.
Yeah, that's
That's
brilliant.
it.
Just remember, the book itself is not just aimed at the youth; it's for parents as well as the youth, the teenager, to read. All right, and if I must say so myself, it's a masterpiece. That's the comedy in me. It's a masterpiece of work. But yeah, buy the book. If you want to support me, support me. If not, if you just want to read it from another friend or something, just read the book. If you get a glimpse of the book, then by all means, have a glimpse of the book. And yeah, yeah, really. And what I really want to know, or really, sorry, when I say want to know, what I would really like to know from you who've read the book is a review and an honest opinion of the book, because all it would do, regardless of it being positive or negative, it would just make me into a better writer. So
Yeah.
and those who know me know I could take joke, I could take criticism, and I act on it. I don't see anything you say that's going to be negative about the book or positive. It's going to be a negative towards me. It's your opinion of the book. All right. So go and buy it. It's on Amazon, $7.99. There you go.
Can I just say that I feel like a little girl in a school shop, to be honest. I have to say that when in my growth, like I said, coming from a little bit of your book, in my growth, sitting here with you, what a book author, really, and a comedian. It's an honour. It's a privilege. It really is a privilege. You've been speaking to people left, right, and centre. You forgot the value, most probably, of really who you are, what you do, and how, you know. Yeah, sometimes you can be funny. Sometimes you're not funny. I'm just kidding. Because I actually
No, but no, you know what you just
comedy.
said. What you just said is my life.
Yeah.
There's times that if I want to be funny, I could be funny.
Yes.
I know that. But if I want to be serious, I want to be serious. Like
Well,
I'm not gonna sit here and talk about my book, which is a serious piece of work,
yes.
and take the mickey out of it, because I
Yes.
know it's a serious piece of work. So there's a time to be serious and there's time to fun, but not about the serious piece of work. Maybe later on down the line, I could joke about bits in the book, but at this moment in time, because it's such a serious piece of work, I don't have. There's no humor for me within it. Although
No.
I can laugh about anything, joke about it, but to me, this is a serious piece of work, and I take it serious, right? So then you're gonna get the serious out of me, thinking, "Why this boy serious?" No, I'm serious about the piece of work I've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Special. The amount of times that people want to write a book and they don't know how. Well, you've learned that tool now, haven't you? Would you pass on
Yes.
that knowledge with workshops?
Would I pass on? Of course I would.
Yeah, you
Of
pass
course I
on.
would.
Would you set up a workshop step by step and help people sort of lay out what they have to do?
Of course I would. That's to me. I'm all about giving anyway. In general, so of course I would do that. That's second to that's. I don't know. You don't even have to ask me that question. I would do it. If someone phoned me up and said, "Look, P, I'm writing a book, you know, and I don't know how to structure the book." I said, "Really? Okay. What's your book about? Let's structure this book."
Yeah.
I'm not telling you I'm the best at it, but I know I've done it, and I've been through that. This is what I'm saying. This is why this is quite serious, because I've been through the struggles of trying to put a book together. I've been through the struggles of trying to get an agent and a publisher, and you know, having to them turn you down in your face and say to, nah, this is not really for me. And you know, this is you know, you ever that saying, nah, 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 that kind of shit, right? Because my book is published now, and for some, and I want it to go far, because I do want me to open. When the book was first published, the people behind me say you're a black author, say you're a black author, go on, say you're a black author. And I'm like, no,
You put
I'm just
limitations on yourself, right?
yeah, because I'm like, I'm just an author. Why does my color have to dictate what I'm saying about the book? I'm just an author. Read the book for its value. Don't read it because I'm a black author. Just read it because I'm an author. Because I've had the same battles in comedy. You know, as soon as I step on the stage, oh, he's a black comedian, he's going to start telling black jokes. No, bro, I tell jokes. Don't label my jokes as black and white, because they're just jokes. So I didn't want my book to be labeled, oh, it's a black author. No, man, I'm just an author. End of story. All right. And that's how I want people to view it, an author. But it just so happens that more Caucasians have bought my book than my fellow, or some fellow, than black people.
How do you know that when you go and purchase that book on Amazon? Sorry, I'm just going to say what comes to my head.
I look at the names.
You get a list then, do you?
Yeah, you get reports.
That's nice, isn't it? So how many
and you get reports, and you can get also the areas of where they buy. And I know there's when some people have bought the book, there's no black people that live. So you get the areas. So so that's why I'm saying that. Or maybe I might be wrong. But if I base it on the areas, then I can just safely say that, you know what, not many of my mates.
But it only came out. It only came out on the 1st of February. Well, I got mine on the 1st.
Yeah, it's doing very well, Tosha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's an ebook. I don't know. I wasn't accustomed to it, but I went on and I got it, and I got it on my Kindle, and I can read it and pick it up whenever I want to. But I want my signature.
Okay. Let me tell you what's happened with that. The reason why the book hasn't come out as a paperback is because the publishers want me to have a proper signing, a proper, what do they call it again? They call it
signage.
A book launch.
Yeah, the book launch.
And I can't do a book launch with COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, and have them queuing up one by one, about a meter apart from me, 2 meters apart, isn't it?
But it's got to be done on a professional level. This queuing up one by one, a professional level. So that's why there's a delay in the paperback. But what they did want me to do is get the book out there so that people read it and relate it to what's happening in today's society now.
Yeah.
Before it might overlap with someone else's ideas or thoughts and say, oh, this is a version of that. No, my book is independent. It's not about gangs as such. Mm-hmm. There's gang elements in there because it's the youth culture. Mm-hmm. It's about the understanding, the consequences of what this young man is going through, and the battles and what surrounds him, and how he gets there and how he comes out. Or does he come out on the other side? Who knows?
I've got questions for you.
Have you really?
I've got a few questions. Yeah, if I don't get locked out. This has been hilarious. I've been in, you've still been sitting there, and I've been kicked out.
It's because I pay my bills. Anyway, go on.
All right, so anyone has a question for Peter, please? I've got the technology in my hand to actually read them out now. So thank you. Yes, they have hard ears. I don't know what that was relating to. We need to identify why our culture sees it as stigma.
Sees what as stigma?
Yeah, I think we'll pass the question at the time. Let's have a look. Trying to get people to see a solution to their problems is always the hardest. It's the mirror, and they don't like what they will see. Is it also on Kindle? Yes, you get. Now, this is how I learned it, because I'm not really good with Amazon. So I went on to Amazon, just for those that don't know. Did you have to have an account? I'm not sure, but I did have one, sort of. And then, anyway, I got it. It was 7. I got it, and look, it's mine now, and I'm meeting the author. Hello.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And that's the bonus part. That's mine now. I've met the author, and this author is actually on the Mom Project Mental Health Awareness Real Talk platform, supporting the community. So, any questions that you have for him, I'm sure that you're going to find his name and pose those questions. So, you've got a lot of thank yous to give back to your supporters, right, Peter? With all of these.
Yeah. I mean, that's second to none. I mean, I anyone who buys the book I thank them. I really do thank them, and I hope that they read it and get insight. I hope that they enjoy the journey.
Come on, Lion.
The most I've got from it is that the book is compelling, it's engaging, and it touches their emotions, which is what I wanted. Yeah, so I've done my job.
Okay, Sharon Gibson says, "All people need to learn how to be vulnerable in order to receive and take on help." Thank you, Sharon.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
lost him again, but I'm sure he'll come back.
No, I'm still here.
Peter,
I
come
haven't got
back.
it. I'm still here.
But we're still here. Peter will rewind this and hear this again, most probably as well, or he'll come back in. We don't know. So, you know, such a good answer. It's just a good book, period. It is a good book, period. Stalking Customers.
Is she saying I'm not still here? I'm still here. I like I said, I pay my bills, man. I'm here live. Ain't gone nowhere. I'm just interview's about to end in about 10 minutes, but I'm still here. I haven't cut off once. For those of you who are still watching me on Facebook Live, I don't know. Apparently, I'm meant to be on Facebook Live. I haven't been cut off once. See, I pay my bill on time. This is great. I pay my bill on time. Let's see if Kerry, the host, comes back and we can bring this book to a conclusion. Like I say, it's available on Amazon. It's an e-Kindle book, $7.99. What's that? 2 coffees in Costa? Is it 1.5 coffees in Costa? But I tell you that $7.99 is interest read. Yeah, it's me. I'm here, and Kerry's gone. Yeah, oh, she's coming back, I think. Yeah, I do appreciate your support. For those of you who bought it already, I do want your reviews, and that's important. You've gone. This is the 4th time you've gone, and I've still been here live. You're live. I don't know.
And I think that not to spoil it. I think not to spoil what we've got already. People should buy your book. It's now streaming again live. But you know what? I really apologise for what is going on. I do pay my bills.
Go for it. Yeah.
The book. The main point is we've got the most of it. We've had a lot of advertising throughout the week. That's compliments of the Mom Project and Kerry, and you know, putting that out. That's enough. That's good. That's what people can do. Talk about it.
Yeah.
That's the least they could do, is talk about it, divert somebody to where they got it. Somebody said to me when I was reading, they don't have a Kindle. I said, you don't need the Kindle.
Yeah, you don't need the Kindle.
You have to have the Kindle, my lovies. You just go, you order it, it'll be sent to you there and then. You can get it in different directions, but you can get it. So
yeah. For some people might struggle. They'll get the book as an e-Kindle, and all you have to do is just download the Kindle app, which is free. All right.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, I got one of those things. But yeah, it's a titchy little app. I got one. Actually, I have not read it on here yet though, but I can read it on my laptop.
Right.
I think I could read this while I was on the toilet.
Check you out.
Where do we spend most of our reading? Either in our bedroom or maybe on the toilet. And I'll be honest, where do you? Or maybe what do you do?
Who, me?
That is where your most intimate, private conversation is. That's the most. Turn off the technology, read a book in the bath, wherever you want to read a book. But that getting into a book is beneficial. It switches off the technology for starters. It gives you more me time and time to just get into somebody else's life rather than being yours. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you can read the book. You can read the book wherever you want to read the book.
Oh no, I mean, I'm just saying, I take my mobile with me.
Okay.
And so if I take my mobile with me, it's got my Kindle on it now, so I can take you anywhere and read you anywhere. That's what I'm saying.
Steady, love. All right. All right, Kerry.
I'll leave you with it now because I think that, guys, the remit was to get out the book, Consequences.
Yeah.
Peter, thank you so much. We apologise for the technology. We did come back again though.
I will
definitely come back again on another topic. But thank you so much.
All right, take care of yourselves, people. Bless, honor, respect, and see you soon. Take care. All right, Peter out.
Peter, stay there. I think I'm not there. Am I there live?